Subramaniam Swamy, how long will he stay silent is the big question. Well, someone who's broken his silence is the former India team director, Ravi Shastri, who today has hit out at the Cricket Advisory Committee member and former India captain Sourav Ganguly, accusing Ganguly of being disrespectful. Shastri slammed Ganguly for being absent during the interview for the coach's role for Team India. Shastri was passed over and Anil Kumble was chosen instead as the team's coach. Listen in to what Ravi Shastri told me in an interview today. And joining me now is the former India captain, coach and cricketer Ravi Shastri joining me. Appreciate your joining us. Ravi, there is already controversy over your comments on the entire coaching issue. You seem a little miffed at the manner in which you were passed over in favor of Anil Kumble, particularly as Sourav Ganguly, one of the key members of the interview panel, was not even present when you were being interviewed for the coach's post.
I'm not miffed at all. Nothing surprises me in Indian cricket, Rajdeep. And like you said, a member of the committee wasn't present. You know, it's nothing to do with Sourav, but I'm a little disappointed because it means that person was disrespectful of the candidate who was going to be interviewed and disrespectful to the job that he was entrusted to do and nothing else.
So it is, but in that sense you are miffed. You are, when you say that you believe that Sourav Ganguly in a sense was disrespectful to the job he was given to identify the coach by not being present at that meeting, you are miffed at the process and at Mr. Ganguly in particular.
Not miffed at all. I'm just disappointed.
Well, you know, miffed, disappointed, line is very thin, Mr. Shastri. It's a
so
thin
you
line.
can take it whichever way. Your vocabulary is better than mine.
Right. What do you think? Do you believe the process in itself was wrong to have senior cricketers like yourself or even Mr. Kumble being interviewed by three cricketers who you have played with? You played with Sachin Tendulkar. Mr. Kumble has played with all three of the members of this selection panel for the coach's job. Do you believe it can lead to potential conflict of interest?
I have nothing to speak on the process, Rajdeep. I had a job to do which was to fill a form and put in my application, and then my next job was to speak to the committee. So after that, I have nothing to do, and if regarding the process, it's not for me to say anything about it. My job was to do two things, and I did both.
But do you think that that is the right way to select a coach for the Indian team, considering that both you and Anil Kumble are cricketers who played for India for many years, distinguished cricketers? Is there a better way than this?
See, I'm not a member of the Board of Control for Cricket in India. I was a candidate applying for a post. So all I can say is I've done my job on two accounts, that is being prepared to put in that application and then being present when asked for to do the interview. That's all.
But, you know, you've said that you're disappointed with the fact that Ganguly was not there at that meeting. What does that suggest? That is it not being taken seriously enough, or do you see a conflict of interest that Sourav Ganguly is also the president of the Cricket Association of Bengal, is also a member of this committee, and therefore it can be potential conflict of interest?
See, Rajdeep, I was the former director of the team. I was applying for a head coach. Whether there's conflict or interest or not, you know, that's the job of an ombudsman, and I'm not an ombudsman.
But you feel that the players must take
as a head coach.
Yes.
And if I'm disappointed because, you know, you had put in a lot of hard work, right? And the team did wonderfully well over the last 18 months, or, you know, during the time I was in charge of the team. And, you know, it's disappointing because you can't take it forward. But again, in Anil, you've got, you know, one of our greatest cricketers. You know, the ball is in his court, and he's got a great team that he can take forward. And I was disappointed at that moment of time, but that's about 5 days ago. And it already feels like it is almost 2 months ago.
So for you, there is no, you don't want to play some kind of a role now in Indian cricket anymore as a mentor or some kind of advisor. You had a great relationship with Virat Kohli. Do you want to take that forward in some way?
At the moment of time, I want to go back and do what I do best. You know, it's similar to what you do, but I do it on the sporting field with a mic in hand, you know, on the cricket field. So I think at the moment my focus will be that. I'll take a good break. It's been one of the most enjoyable months where the team gave me, so much of joy and pride in the way they played that those are memories that I'll treasure all my life. In fact, of all the things I've done in the last 35 years as a player, broadcaster, I've worn different hats at different times, but this job gave me more satisfaction than anything else.
So you feel a little let down. I sense from your voice you feel a little hurt that the board could have perhaps handled this better, or even these three cricketers, former cricketers, distinguished cricketers themselves could have handled it better.
No, not at all. I don't have any regrets in life, because the simple reason I don't have regrets, you feel disappointed at that moment of time. It's like getting out for 96 or 97, right? So, you feel disappointed for a bit, but then the next day is a new day. And as long as you have given that job, which you were entrusted to do your 100%, which I did, and you gave your everything, you were honest about the job you did, and the results showed. So you obviously will feel a little disappointed, but then you move on. There's nothing is permanent. There are other opportunities that may come my way. So, just be positive and think ahead. And that's the only way I've looked at.
Any advice? Any advice for Saurav Ganguly himself?
Well, next time be at a meeting when someone's being interviewed for a position as important as that.
I think that's said as clearly as possible there. I just want to know, is it also true that Virat Kohli was very keen to have you once again? Do you know that?
I don't know anything. I've not spoken to any of the players, because my relationship with them is, totally different. This was a totally different job. But I will never forget, the enjoyment that I got in those 18 months. They're a fantastic bunch. To watch, the likes of Virat and Rohit and Jinx and Shikhar, batting, from the dressing room, and then seeing a great, like an all-time great, one of our greatest players, in the dressing room, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, the way he operates, the composure that he, has at all times, the way he takes success and failure in his stride. When you see all these things, I do believe I might have a third eye when I'm doing commentary.
Right. Well, either way, Ravi Shastri, you've shot from the hip in this interview. You've clearly said that you feel that Saurav Ganguly disrespected the process. He should have been there at the meeting, but you have no regrets and you're moving on to doing other things in connection with the game. You've had a terrific tenure in taking that Indian team to almost the pinnacle of cricket. Appreciate your joining us, Ravi Shastri. Thank you very much.
Pleasure, Rajdeep, always.
Thank you.